I am Megha Agarwal, and I am the Executive Director of the Monarch Foundation and the Bridge Project. So the Bridge Project provides expecting and new mothers with biweekly guaranteed income payments totaling $500 to $1,000 a month for 3 years. It was formed out of basically our desire to support the babies and mothers in New York and beyond who are suffering devastating effects from poverty. The first 1,000 days of a child's life are really a crucial period of development, whether that's physically, mentally, and cognitively. And for us, we were really excited about trying to find a solution that scales. And I think cash ended up being exactly that. And even better, it ended up being something that did that with dignity and respect and with trust. And I think that's something that you don't see with a lot of our welfare system right now. We do have participants who have been receiving cash for the past 6 months. They'll continue to receive cash for the next 2.5 years. In terms of demographic makeup, we see around half of our mothers are Black and half of our mothers are Hispanic. Around 20% of our mothers are also undocumented. I think guaranteed income can oftentimes be credited as an idea that's championed by well-known conservative men such as President Richard Nixon and economist Milton Friedman. But in reality, what you see is that guaranteed income strongest advocates actually do originate from racial justice movements. And it really is targeted at these groups that frankly have been marginalized. Guaranteed income has long been on the list of demands to receive racial and economic liberation, and that comes from people in groups like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the Black Panther Party, Johnny Tillman of the National Welfare Rights Organization. So it always has really been about racial justice. In the United States, I think we've been trained to believe that the only reason people are really on welfare is because there's something wrong with their character. If these people have motivation, if they wanted to work, if they could, then they'd be able to support themselves, they'd be able to support their kids, and they'd be able to rise out of poverty. But I think that's just not true. Poverty in this nation is frankly a choice. And by definition, it's a lack of cash. You see that with the child tax credit. We were able to add just $250 to $300 to the wallets of folks with young children living in poverty. And we were able to alleviate poverty at massive scales. And what we've done now by choosing to hold up the extension of the child tax credit is we've allowed and said it's okay to let those people fall back into poverty. And what we're seeing, frankly, is we're seeing women and we're seeing women of color getting trapped as a result. There's so much dignity and trust that's lacking in many of our social safety net programs. And what guaranteed income does is it actually pushes back on a lot of the harmful and untrue narratives that is kind of rooted in and that we've built for folks who are living in poverty. And I think one of the most amazing things about cash and about guaranteed income as a solution to poverty is that cash is flexible, it's efficient, and frankly, it's empowering. And women of color and anyone living in poverty rarely have these types of choices. So our hope is that this project and all the guaranteed income pilots across the nation are actually offering options and opportunities to families who rarely, if ever, had any. Ultimately, what we do need is a federal policy that ends up acting as a guaranteed income. We don't ask where the money is coming from when we set our military budgets. There's a saying that budgets are a moral document. They reflect what you value. Our current investments in this country are showing that we don't value mothers, we don't value babies, and we don't value women of color. And our spending is a set of choices, and I think we can and we should be making different ones.